and we had some issues, but I'm really glad that Coach Jared was able to step in. I am super glad to see you guys. I know that a lot of you guys are potentially going into school spring break. I know my school is going into spring break, where we mostly just are stopping online learning, and hopefully that will give everybody a little bit. If you are having spring break, hopefully it'll give you a little bit of kind of a mental break from all the craziness the last couple weeks. So for today, we're going to have a little bit longer of a session, and then we're going to do a couple of things today. We are going to do a Dryland workout. All right, we're going to do a Dryland workout. We're going to talk about some muscle groups, specifically the super important muscles in our shoulders, ones that a lot of times people overlook and we don't even know are there, but play a really big role in our swimming, and how to keep them strong when we're out of the pool. And that'll actually translate when you get into the pool as well. And then we're going to finally talk about, overcoming some mental challenges. Mental challenges, we're going to face those our whole life, and they're different in different stages of our lives. And, I'm going to, hopefully give you guys some strategies to cope with those mental challenges, and kind of getting over those, those big hurdles, and how to, give yourself, some tools to deal with it in the future. So you remember, our goal for that today is going to be, we imagine you have a tool belt around your waist, and some very good tools to have to go throughout life. If it's your tool belt of life, then you have some tools that help you get over the mental blocks, you get over the mental challenges, right? And I want to give you some tools for that today. But the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to think about the detail. All right, we're going to think about the detail. And the first thing I want to bring up about detail is your shoulders. Okay, so for swimmers, these are two of our most important assets, are our shoulders. Okay, these are pretty much our bread and butter. We've got our kick. That's really, really important as our kick. And then the next thing is our shoulders, because what are we using a lot? Whether we're doing breaststroke, or whether we're doing freestyle, or whether we're even doing backstroke or butterfly, right? What's always moving? Our shoulders, right? Our shoulders are always moving in some way, shape, or form. And the thing that I want to talk about, paying attention to detail, is a set of muscles. It's a set of 4 muscles called your rotator cuff, right? Your rotator cuff. And these are 4 they're not very big at all. They're actually really, really small. They're not like your biceps or your deltoids or your quadriceps, which are on your thighs, or your glutes or your calves. They're not big, big muscles, all right? Or like your pecs up here underneath on top of your chest. They're not very big muscles, but they play a really big role in our swimming life. During college, I had several rotator cuff injuries, and it really hurt to swim, and it got to the point where I had to go to physical therapy, and it really, really hurt. And so what I want us to focus on today is the detail, specifically the detail in our shoulders. So I printed off a little thing, and it's a little diagram, and you can go find it on Google. The 4 muscle groups we're going to talk about, or the 4 muscles, are the supraspinatus, the subscapularis, the infraspinatus, and the teres minor. Okay, so if we are looking, all right, so this is what we would be looking at. All right, so these are our muscles, and these are the 4 muscles, and they can play a really big role in in your speed, in your in the smoothness of your stroke. Does it hurt when you take a stroke? So these 4 muscles are really important, and we're going to work on isolating a couple of them. Okay, so these muscles, the first muscle we're going to do, and you don't ever really, you can get these muscles stronger without having to use a single weight. Okay, so the first exercise that we're going to do, oh, by the way, that's one of my co-stars. That's Mojo. She's over there. Cowboy's somewhere. If you see him, he's a little brown dog. He might run by. She might come up and say hey to us. You're going to say hey? No, she's just curious what's in my water bottle. All right. Also today, if you are sitting at home and we are going to do Dryland, make sure I'll give you a minute, but you need to go get water. Okay. So what we can do with what you do when we're focusing on our rotator cuffs, all right? You want to pull yourself up nice and tall, but you don't want to push your chest way out. All right. So if we're looking at it from the side, I want to sit up nice and tall, but I don't want to poke my chest out because I'm not actually doing anything. My shoulder isn't increasing. I'm just poking my chest out. See how my shoulders, right? And one way you can strengthen, we'll just do one today. One way you can strengthen them is make sure your head is up. You're not pushing your neck forward, not pushing your neck back. You're not trying to give yourself a double chin. All right. One way that you do is what we're going to do is you're going to, pull your shoulders back, relax, take a big breath. And what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that someone has strings tied to your elbow. All right. Pretend someone has like tied strings to your elbow. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull down towards your low back. All right. You're going to pull down towards your low back. It's like you're getting, all right. We call these robbers like, don't shoot. All right. You ready? So we call these robbers like, oh no. All right. Or if you're caught on surprises. All right. So you're going to start up here. You start up here at 90 degrees and you're going to pull down like you're resisting. Like you're resisting that someone's pulling those strings down. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your head's not forward or backward, that your chest isn't crazy out. All right. So we're going to pull down. It's almost like you want to resist, and pull down. All right. And you should feel that activate right up in here, right kind of behind, and a little bit in the middle of your back. All right. So right through here. All right. Right through here. This is activating your teres minor. All right, it activates your teres minor right through here. And that's a really important muscle to have. Okay, and make sure you take care of it. It's really small and it's not fun if you hurt it. Okay, so that's our that's going to be our one today. That'll be our one exercise for today. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a workout with those shoulders. Okay, including push-ups. So make sure you have water. Okay, make sure you have water. If you are watching and you don't have water, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to go and get some water, just so you can participate with us with our Dryland today. So what we're going to do today is we'll do a little bit of in-place running. We'll do a little bit of in-place kind of jump rope. We're going to do some assisted push-ups because I know a lot of us, especially for my pre-agers, we're still working on developing that upper body strength. And I would much rather us do it correctly and do it slowly than do it quickly and end up with, problems in these four muscles, because this is where those issues are going to happen. More often than not, we don't hurt our big muscles. We hurt our really small muscles, and we don't even know it. So what I want us to make sure is we're paying attention to those, and we're building up those muscles correctly. So hopefully everybody is back with some water. What we're going to do today is called a Tabata. Right? If you've ever heard of Tabata, you do a certain number of seconds of it on and then a certain number of seconds off. You guys are usually familiar. You guys are familiar with this if you're in pre-age or novice when we do Dryland, and we do and when we do a certain number, we'll do like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So I'm gonna do. Oh my goodness! All right, so. I'm going to make sure the volume is up so I can hear and so that you can hear too, hopefully. All right. So we're going to do 6 exercises. We're going to do 6 exercises. But before we start that, we are going to do 1 minute of in-place jogging. So let me pull up my timer. We're going to do 1 minute of in-place jogging. So I will start that, and let me move my computer, and my dogs may come. There's Cowboy. He's right there. You can't really see him. All right. So we do one minute of in-place jogging. All right. So let's do in-place jogging. All right. And sometimes in-place jogging can be kind of boring. All right. I don't want to jog for a minute and not think about anything. So when I jog in place, what I think is like, what if I'm running a race, right? Or if you've been to the store, maybe you're running to get the last Oh my goodness. All right, so think about it. We're running through the grocery store and there's one roll of toilet paper left. Okay, there's one roll. And it's you and there's this other person. So I'm gonna imagine Coach Jared is right here. So Coach Jared and I are racing for the toilet paper. Racing. Ah! All right, whew. Okay, I got the toilet paper. All right, so I'm at the grocery store and what else am I gonna need? So I'm gonna need toilet paper. I beat Coach Jared, knocked him out. What else am I gonna need? I think I need some bacon. You know, I don't want to be stuck in quarantine. There we go. All right, that was 1 whole minute. So take a little break. We'll take a little quick breather. All right, and the next one that we're gonna do is we are going to do, and let me adjust this so you guys can see all the way down. All right. We are going to do 1 minute of jumping in place, so jump rope. All right, so 1 minute of jump rope. So same thing. I'm going to think of a scenario as to why I would be jumping. Now, you don't have to jump all in one place. I can pretend I'm jumping from puddle to puddle. I'm jumping from puddle to puddle. While you're doing this, you can also, make sure you're pulling your belly button into your spine. You're engaging your low abs. I'm jumping from puddle to puddle. I'm getting crazy. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go forwards. All right. All right. Let's mix it up. Let's start a run. All right. Jump back. All right. We got about 20 seconds left of jumping back and forth. So I'm jumping through puddles. You could even do big jumps, or you can do little tiny micro jumps. You can do jumps on one foot, jumps on the other foot, crisscross jumps, pretend you have a jump rope. So we're all done with that one. All right, take a little drink of water. Very good. Okay. So for our last one, we're going to do ski jumps. All right, so we're going to do a minute of ski jumps. So I'm going to go from side to side. All right, and let's mix it up. Let's do 10 ski jumps. And I'm going to run for some toilet paper. All right, I'm going to run for some toilet paper for 5 more seconds. Nope, and I'm going to ski jumps. I'm hopping through the puddles, All right, I'm going to skip across the water on some rocks. All right, now 20 more seconds. I'm gonna run. Oh, Coach Terry's going to get some more toilet paper. Oh, Coach Lindsay's chasing me. Coach Terry's chasing me. Skip, 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 skip. All right, we're good. Okay, my earrings fell out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do our 6 exercises, and we're going to do 1 full round of our exercise. All right, we're going to do 1 full round of our exercise. So what I want you guys to do is our first exercise is going to be star jump burpees, okay? Star jump burpees. So let me move this grill out of the way. I don't smack it, okay? So what we're going to first do is remember when we do burpees, we're not sloppy, we're not lazy, okay? We're not going to be lazy with it, okay? So when we go down, both hands go down at the same time. Body goes out completely flat. My head's in line with my spine. And we'll come back up. And then let's say we're going to reach for some, we'll reach for some mac and cheese. So I'm going to reach up and I'm going to big star jump. So I'm going to show you that from the front. So both hands out at the same time. Both feet go out at the same time. My butt is flat. It's not up here. It's not down here, okay? So I come up together at the same time and star jump, Okay? So we're going to do that 10 times. Okay, so we just did 2. So we'll do 8 more. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I just want to pause for a second before we do our last one. Did you notice how I paused on that last one? I noticed that my form was getting sloppy, so I took a moment, I paused, I fixed it, and then I did it correctly instead of rushing through, trying to get one foot up, and then, not doing a very good job. So, one more, 10. All right, so those are our star jumps. So we do 10 of those. So stop and take some water. Now, you do not have to do this outside. If you have pollen allergies and it's difficult for you to breathe, you can also do that inside. So we just did 10 star jump burpees. The next one that we're going to do is wall sits, all right? So the next one we're going to do is wall sits. So let me adjust this so you guys can see my full feet, hopefully. Okay, so when I do a wall sit, let's start with proper form. You do not need to have your feet under you. Do we remember from our video last week where I said you don't want your knees going over your toes? This is bad for those small muscles in your knees, all the way up to your hips, okay? What the muscles do down here affects what the muscles do all the way up to the top of your head, all right? What the small muscles do from the tip of your toe to the crown of your head affects everything in the rest of your body, okay? So we're going to do a wall sit, and we're going to do it for 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. All right? Okay. So we're going to 5 seconds. All right, so I'm going to do a wall sit. No, my butt's in line with my knees. All right? My bottom is in line with my knees. It's not below my knees, and it's also not above my knees. It's right where my knees are at. All right? Make sure that you're putting weight in your heels. You should be able to lift the tips of your toes up. All right? You should not be putting weight on the front of those feet because you're not actually using the muscles you're supposed to be. All right? So, 10 seconds off. Okay? So make sure you're taking into account all those things. And we're going to go back to our wall sit, making sure I'm looking ahead. All right, I've got 10 more seconds. Now, when you're doing a wall sit, a good way to practice those shoulder muscles that we talked about, are my shoulders flat up against the wall or are they curved? Did you always all see that difference? Flat or curved? All right, so our wall sits are done. Very good. Okay. So I want to go back and talk about that. A wall is a great place to know what are my shoulders doing. All right. For so many of us, we spend our time in the water doing this, right? We're swimming. And sometimes, swimmers, we have a tendency to hunch, right? We have a tendency to do this, where what happens is we extend our legs, we push our hips forward, and we slump our shoulders. This is kind of like, it's pretty common. If you go look on a pool deck and you see a lot of older swimmers, you can see them hunched over like this. Well, what we want to do is we want to make ourselves nice and tall. And look at this nice brick wall, all right? It's tall, it's straight. And what we want to do is we want to be as tall as this brick wall. Ooh, there's a bee. Okay? So a good way to tell, are my shoulders up against the wall? All right, send it love. It's just me. It's just me. A good way to, if you are scared of bees and they're hanging around near you, and this is just a good tip, you just send them lots of love, and you send them lots of love and good vibes, and they'll just keep on their merry way. Hello, bee. All right. So I think I'm not sure what he's doing, and now he's gone away. So when we're working with our shoulders, especially if like we're doing a wall squat or anything, a wall provides us a good place to keep in check, are my abs in check, are my shoulders in check, okay? So the first thing, I'm going to start from my low back up. All right, I'm going to start from my low back up. All right, so the first thing I notice is if we're looking, I've got kind of a curve in my low back, all right? And that's a lot of that is from swimming, and sometimes it causes me a lot of problems because I rely more on my back to hold me up than my abs, all right? Our back muscles are generally a lot stronger than our abs, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, all right? I'm going to tuck my pelvis in. I'm going to see if I can get that small arch. I'm going to try to see if I can get that arch on my low back as close to the wall as I possibly can. And I do that by pulling my belly button to my spine. Right? I pull my belly button to my spine. And so, that's good against the wall. So, on my other spine is my spine up against the wall. And now I count on my shoulders. And I notice that my shoulders are rounded. All right? So this doesn't promote good posture. And we want to strengthen these. And this is a good way to strengthen them. So I pull my belly button back. I pull that low back into the wall, pull it into the spine, right? And then what I want to make sure is doing, I'm not doing this to get my shoulders flat up against the wall. All right, did we see how that creates? Let me see if I can make, all right? So if I'm doing this to get my shoulders back up against the wall, what have I done? I've made a really big hole in the wall. All right, my goal is to get as flat as a board. Right, as flat as a board. So what I'm going to do is just kind of focus on pulling those shoulders back. And that's a good way to see where you're at flat-wise. So we're going to do one more round of wall squats. One more round of wall squats, which is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And we'll do that twice through. So I'm going to go ahead and get in wall squat position. All right. My knees, they're going to be a little bit about hip width apart. All right. So I'm going to scoot down. My back of my shirt will be yellow. All right. So I get down, I get in a nice comfortable position. It's challenging, but I can handle it. All right. I'm at 90 degrees. My legs should be at 90 degrees. My hips are in line with my knees. And we're going to go ahead and start. All right. So, all right. We'll start 20 seconds on. All right. And then we'll do 10 seconds off. So while I'm doing this, I'm pulling that belly button all the way back to the wall. I'm focusing on those shoulders, and it doesn't have to be perfect, all right? The goal is to work on it consistently and think about what we're doing, all right? So pulling that belly button back, we're not pooching our belly button out, we're pulling it in. So I've got 10 seconds. All right, so as I approach that 10-second mark, let me get back down in my little squat. All right, so, I noticed on my shoulders, I was leaning more against the wall with my back than I was using my legs, and that defeats the purpose of the exercise. All right, so I'm down, I'm putting my weight in those heels, I'm pulling my belly button back to the wall, I'm working on having my shoulders, which is something I struggle with too after all those years of swimming. And stop, okay? Good job, stop and get some water. So that is our second exercise. Our third exercise is going to be assisted push-ups, okay? And one of my favorite ways to do assisted push-ups is on the stairs, right? So I'm going to show you guys real quick. So I've got some stairs right here, and that's one of my favorite ways to do push-ups because they offer a lot of assistance, and if you have shoulder issues, that really helps as well. So let me see how I can put the camera so you can see what I'm doing. All right. We'll put it this way. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do if I don't want a whole lot of weight on my shoulders, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up kind of to this one where I would kind of fall naturally. And what I go is my hands are shoulder width apart. They're not super wide. They're not super narrow. All right. Pre-age, you guys do not have the strength in your upper body yet to try super narrow or super wide push-ups. All right. So what we want is developmentally appropriate. All right. And when you guys get super big and super strong, I want you to try it and I encourage you to try it, but we need to build those muscles correctly before we do that. So I'm here, my hands are on the stairs, and you see I'm not having to go all the way down with my whole body weight. A large portion of my weight is supported down here with my feet. All right. So I'm going to go down. All right. So when I go down, are my shoulders way out from my body or are they really, really close? All right. They're really, really close. They're very, very close to my body because what I'm focusing on is those four muscles right in here. Focusing on my triceps. I'm focusing on my biceps. All right. I'm not worried about, can I do the fastest push-up? Can I do the hardest push-up? I'm worried about, am I doing it right? Okay. So I'm going to go down again. My elbows are close to my body. All right. And the goal here is let's try to do 3 really good ones. All right. 3 really good ones, making sure that you're engaging those muscles right here and working on them really well. So remember, so far, our first exercise after our cardio warm-up was the star jump burpees, and we did 10. Then we did 2 minutes of wall squats, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, focusing on pulling our belly button to our spine. Our third one is 3 really, really, really good, slow assisted push-ups. I don't want you to do quantity. I want you to do quality. All right? 3 really, really, really good assisted push-ups. Our next one, all right, is going to be high knees. All right? High knees. And a good way to work on high knees, I find, is if I have like a goal to hit with my foot. If it's just a regular old high knees thing, I kind of find that very vague and it's not very helpful for me as a learner. So what I do is I usually pick something like at my house, we have these convenient brick walls, okay? And some of you guys probably have stairs at home, or if you have a cooler, that will also work. So I'm going to put you guys right here. All right, and what I'm going to do is my goal is going to be able to hit the top of it gently. I don't want to slam my foot down. I want to hit the top of it gently. Okay, so I'm going to start my timer, and I'm going to do the same thing as the wall sits. 2 minutes of 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. All right, okay, so I'm going to start it now. Hopefully, let me make sure the Wi-Fi is good. All right, we're good. Okay, so you ready? And go. And you can imagine, like, are you squashing something? You could be squashing the coronavirus. You could be squashing your Google Classroom homework. You could be squashing anything. All right? So we got 5 seconds. And sometimes I hit a little bit low, but that's okay. I notice it's a lot more with my left foot than my right. So I know that's something that I need to work on. Okay. Oh, no, I stopped it. All right. Okay. So, all right, our 10 seconds has passed. We're going to go again for 20 seconds. Got 10 seconds left. And 10-second rest. And go. All right. Good job. So, you guys are super awesome. So that is, you will do that one more time in the round. So that's our 4th exercise. Oh no. All right. Our 5th exercise is, ooh, can't see anything. Just our body weight squats, all right? Just our body weight squats. So we're going to do 10 body weight squats. make sure that we are hip width apart. Make sure that our toes are tracking outward. All right. Our toes are tracking a little bit outward. We do not want our toes in. All right. We want them either to the front. All right. And if you want a little bit of variation, you can track them a little bit outward. All right. If you're one of our older ones, or we can go with the front. Okay. Sometimes I struggle with moving my knees in sometimes. So I usually track my feet just a little bit outward. So it reminds me to use my glutes to make sure that my knees don't do anything crazy. So we're just going to do 10 bodyweight squats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm going to stop in the middle. Now, when I'm doing these bodyweight squats, I need to make sure that my belly button is pulled into my spine. I do not want to pooch my belly out. I don't want to be doing this and not working hard. So I'm activating all these muscles. You're not just squatting, you're using all of your muscles, all right? So, all right. So I'm going to make sure that my belly button is pulled in. I'm putting my bottom all the way back. My knees are not going over my toes. All right. Activate and pull up. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that's number 5. Our last activity, our last exercise is going to be just good old-fashioned jumping jacks. All right, good old-fashioned jumping jacks. And what I want us to focus on is making sure we're hitting the top every time and we're getting our feet all the way out. Then we're not doing this or this, where you're just jumping and moving your arms, okay? So what we're going to do is jumping jacks, and we're just going to do 20 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So that is our Dryland workout. Okay. You can do that 1 time through or 2 times through. All right. If you're feeling super strong, you can do it 3 times through. But that's going to be our Dryland workout. All right. So I'm going to get a drink of water. There's a lot of pollen in the air today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some mental challenges. So it's actually really fun to do Dryland with you guys on YouTube Live because, you know, it's really motivating, all right? But I know that not all of you guys can do YouTube Live, and, you know, that can be really challenging. I know that we've kind of been hit with another one. For a lot of you guys, you found out we're not going back to school at all. So you guys know that I'm a teacher, and I found out the other day that, you know, the school year has been, we don't get to go back to school. And I know that that is really hard in a lot of ways. Those are people, we spend a lot of time with people at school. You know, we have relationships and friends, and we're close with our teachers, and, you know, we're close with our friends and the people at school. And that can be a really hard thing to deal with. And, you know, on top of, you know, like the world is kind of flipped upside down, and school has kind of flipped upside down, and there's a lot of challenges going on. And what I want to do is just kind of give you one tool to kind of help you deal with the emotions, because sometimes the biggest challenge that we have is we have like these feelings and we have these emotions, and we just don't know how to get them out or talk about them. Okay, we just sometimes we don't know how to deal with it, and so sometimes instead of dealing with our emotions, we can get angry or we can get upset, and that often doesn't actually solve our problem. So what I want us to do is work on a good way to identify emotions is learning how to, you know, kind of take away their power by saying them out loud. So, for instance, I'll tell you guys one way that I found out when my school wasn't going back. All right. So at first I realized I was very upset, and I was like, why am I so upset? And I thought, well, I'm upset because, I see my school kids every day, and like they're people that I care about, and I won't get to, really see them in class again. Mojo, sorry. And Mojo. Oh no. What's wrong? Oh, Mojo. All right. So I thought, so I have, so one way is that my kids, I love them a whole lot, right? And just like I love you guys at DCS, I thought, I'm not just upset, maybe I'm really sad, I'm really disappointed that I can't, all right. I'm really disappointed, that I'm not going to be able to get to go back to see them, or like even my coworkers. And that really helped me deal with some stuff. Also, Olivia, I see that you or Levi have a question. What can I help you with? Okay. All right. Just let me know what your question is, and I will try to answer it. All right. Yes, you can do chair sits. All right. Okay. So one way that we can work on, covering mental challenges, just to go back to that, is identifying our emotions is one of the best tools that we have. And especially like you as young kids, sometimes you guys may not have, the words just yet, but it will help us learning how to be like, hey, I'm upset because I am sad that I'm not going back to school, or I'm sad that I won't get to see my friends, or I'm sad that, I won't get to go hang out at my locker again, or eat at the lunch table with my friends this year. That's a really big deal for you guys, and being able to identify those kinds of things can really help us, deal with our emotions, especially if, you verbalize it to someone. So for instance, let's put that in swimming terms. If you get really nervous during races, all right? If you get really, really nervous during races, or before your race, one good way you can go up to someone you trust, like a coach or a parent, or even, a fellow swimmer, and you can just be like, hey, I'm nervous about racing because I'm scared about coming in last, or I'm scared I won't get a best time. All right. And often when we name those fears, or we name our concerns or our emotions, it allows us to learn kind of what we need to tackle it. And that's something that we can work on a lot. All right. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions. So on the stairs, I kind of stand on my tippy toes to stretch myself all the way out. I find that kind of stretching flat, or doing that kind of flat footed, makes it really difficult. All right. You can stand on your tippy toes. All right. Or you can stand on your flat foot. Tippy toes will give you a little bit less assistance. And if you stand on your flat feet, that will give you a little more assistance. Sometimes I'll do both depending. Okay. Does that answer your question? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. So in review for today, make sure we're taking care of those 4 muscles, right? Those 4 muscles. They're called a rotator cuff. All right. They're called your rotator cuff. Make sure we're taking care of them. Make sure we're keeping them nice and healthy, that we're not doing exercises, that we're doing them correctly, and we're not doing them like quickly and lots of them. I'd much rather you do fewer in a slower time. Okay. And secondly, if you get bored when you're doing your 1-minute jog, you can always pretend that, you're racing to go get some toilet paper off the shelf. Or maybe some mac and cheese, or I'm trying to think of what else was out of stock when I went to the grocery store. They didn't have any Campbell's chicken noodle soup. You can get some Campbell's chicken noodle soup. And then lastly, mental challenges. Work on, can we identify our emotions? Can we identify why we're upset, to to kind of help us tackle those, because it's much easier to tackle something that we know than something that we don't know. It makes it a lot less ominous and a lot less hard to deal with. All right. And often it allows people to allows it a lot easier for people to help us. Okay. Well, I hope tonight has been a good coaching session for you guys. I miss you guys so much. I love you guys a ton. And I am super thrilled for the day that we can get back in the pool, because I can't wait to see all of your smiling, happy, wonderful faces again. I hope you guys have a super good night. I will see you on Monday at 5 o'clock. And we will do a little bit of workout. We'll have a mental strategy. We'll have another, take care of our shoulder strategy. We may even do a low back strategy. All right. Kind of making sure we're taking care of our low backs, because that's another kind of frequent sort of thing. And we'll look forward to that. All right. You guys have a super good night. Stay super, super safe. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Have a good night, guys. Bye.